The assassin aspect. First hit that you get against non-boss enemies while invisible makes you instantly kill them, which is pretty good for anything that's not a boss, but is going to be a big problem when it comes up against, well, a boss. After all, there are plenty of aspects that still work against boss enemies, but this should at least be simple for going through regular levels, especially because in the game right now there are a lot of ways to become invisible. Not just stuff like the explosive decoy that I was using last time, but smoke bomb, the necklace affix, which is always the classic one, and of course, Predator. Predator is what I am looking for in this run. That is the mutation that I think is going to be tying this all together. Every time I kill an enemy, I get a little bit more invisibility, and every time I get a little bit more invisibility, I can kill an enemy in one hit. It should work out well, but Predator is also a very... it's a very brief mutation. I mean, and that's great for getting enemies to stop paying attention to you and everything, but not super great for chaining together a bunch of kills, because in every single biome, there are a lot of areas that are like, only have one enemy, and then it's like a big hallway, or, you know, treasure rooms all over the place. It's not the easiest thing to... sure. It's not the easiest thing to find a bunch of dudes to kill all the time. And once again, there is still the issue of does not work on bosses. Blood Drinker works on bosses. Relentless works on bosses. This one does not, which means that although you might have an easy time in regular levels, I still don't know if it's quite the best one to use. Then again, I didn't really have too much hope in Tinkerer, and that turned out to be extremely powerful, so maybe just having, instant kill against most enemies in the game once I actually get something that gives me invisibility will turn out to be a little bit more useful than I'm giving it credit for. Well, until then, the major thing that we're looking at here is trying to get Predator and hopefully getting that to work. Now, despite the fact that Explosive Decoy would probably work well in this build, I don't have it unlocked right now because it does not scale with Brutality. I mean, that's the one thing I'm looking for here. Anything that works well with Brutality, because, yeah, you're not really given too many other options for invisibility. The real good thing would be to try and get the affix on the necklace, but that is a rare affix to begin with, and really, you can never hope for a specific affix on a necklace to appear, like, ever. It is just too much of leaving way too much to RNG most of the time. What happened to Jump King? I gotta get back to Jump King. Basically, I was starting to work on other series, and wasn't really getting the practice in there to get through, what was it, the Great Frontier? Look, I got up to the roofs of that and almost into the next section a couple times, but I was just like, nah, I gotta stop here because I gotta do this on stream. I can't just make progress off stream. And then you know, got distracted with other stuff. Minecraft, Final Fantasy 15 now, you know how it goes. There's a lot of other series for me to be playing after all, especially if they're gonna keep coming in being commissioned like this. And of course, Final Fantasy 15 is a pretty big game as well. 36 hours, I was told. So it's one of those things that I'm trying to put a lot of focus on because, well, it's a big one. Boots weren't incentivizing enough. I don't think I'm going to be able to get the boots until, like, the very end of the game anyway. So, I'm going to get those boots. Trust me. I'm going to do it. But, yeah, 1.2 seconds is not a lot at all. Well, let's hope. Oh, there's a total of 14. There's 14. Oh, man. I was thinking like 10 or so. Yeah, I'm currently on chapter 6 of that. Well, we'll see. I did a lot of side quests yesterday when I was just kind of like messing around trying to get better at the game. So it should at least be a lot less embarrassing to play, I hope. I don't know. 1 second is not enough. Well, as soon as I get a few more points to Brutality, it should be working. You did side quests? Yeah, look, here's the thing. I'm kind of enjoying the game. I'm getting into it. I'm getting into Final Fantasy 15. It's like, it's... Look, The characterization between the main 4 characters is fun. I'm enjoying the quippiness and everything, and like they're all interesting in their own way. And I love the super weird like juxtaposition between like staying at like a caravan overnight next to a tourist trap, and then in 10 minutes of gameplay time I'm communing with gods. It's not entirely like straight-faced. There's no irony in this game at all. It's like it is very silly and weird, mixing the whole like modern day stuff and like the high fantasy things. It's pretty neat. Now, of course, I gotta say that it's like I'm getting a little bit more charitable to the gameplay after I'm getting more used to it. But at the same time, I still think it's, you know, I would just prefer the old turn-based stuff. And the story, of course, is, I mean, it's warring kingdoms like the previous 2. Actually, I should grab more invisibility from this. It's warring kingdoms like the previous 2 Final Fantasies that I played, and collect the MacGuffins. I gotta get all these MacGuffins, man. 13 of them, and then 6 gods, and whatever. That's not super special or anything, but you know what? It's more direction than some games that I've played on the channel have had, so that's something to boast about just alone. It's an interesting game. Obviously, still pretty janky in some parts. I have no idea what was up with that one thing where I could not go through like there was like a statue or something I was trying to look at, and I like literally could not get near it. It just reset like my X and Y position outside. You know, this is fine. I have a frantic sword after all. It like just reset my X and Y position immediately outside of it with no explanation. And of course, things like just the weird hitboxes and stuff in compared to a lot of the areas around there. But like overall, it's like the game's fun. It's not the best game I've played on the channel, but it's enjoyable. I don't know. Come on, it's not that bad, guys. And a lot of people were talking about it being like, oh man, this one's terrible. It's not that bad. Of course, it's like still, though, the whole, like, collect the MacGuffins thing, like, the ultimate payoff for the collect the MacGuffins thing, said by the characters in the game, has been, I don't know, we'll figure out something once we collect all the MacGuffins. And it's just like, okay, come on, game. Give me a little bit more than that. Hella janky animation. Oh, yeah. I mean, that was something, I can't remember if that even made it into the video, but when I was fighting that behemoth, it's like the behemoth, the hitboxes on those red barrels were like nonsense. I swear I was hitting them directly with the bombs and it didn't work. And there's like stuff like you can't even get near some of the the geometry does not really match up with what the terrain looks like at all. And then yeah, there's stuff like that resetting position thing and just a bunch of things like that. I have no idea what that was. I've never seen it. It was weird. And then, yeah, people told me about King's Glaive, like basically the movie that didn't make it into the game that explained like the big action scene of the first chapter, which is silly. I don't know, but overall, like I said, it's like I'm not hating it. I'm doing enough to do like side quests and starting to get into some of the less like important parts of the game, you know, collecting ingredients, doing side quests, doing the hunting quests and everything. What's the topic of conversation? I'm just talking about the recent series that I've been doing on Final Fantasy 15. And basically I'm defending my like of the game. Simply enough. Because I do feel like that game does have a pretty bad reputation, right? Like, Final Fantasy 15 is sort of like, yeah, it's not the most beloved. I don't think it's the most hated or anything, but Doc likes lore? I love lore in every game I've played. Have you not seen it? Like, Man, if I'm not going to be doing anything for Halloween, go back and watch the series that I did on No Delivery. That is like literally a series of me doing the deep dive into the lore of that game, trying to figure out everything I can. There's even more that I could talk about that I like realized after the fact, but you know, series was already over by that point. Like I understand, like giving a little bit more thought. Bam, there we go. Ooh. By the way, is this first attack? Okay, first attack for, well, Predator's not going to work, though. I'll take this as a secondary weapon. But, like, yeah, what was I talking about here? Oh, yeah, No Delivery. Yeah, there was, like, other stuff related to the lore of that game that I wanted to, that I realized after the fact, but the series was already over, so it's just like, you know, what am I going to do? Be like, supplemental lore for 5 minutes. In 3 months and 23 days, you'll be able to say, "Whew, finished." Those episodes have been more than 2 hours long so far. I am, and besides, I've also been sprinting through the game. I mean, look, I know, yeah, open up world games and everything like that. I still am not like a huge fan of open world games, but. It's like, I am well aware of how long that game is, which is why I'm kind of trying to go through it at a decent pace, you know? I don't know if it still works, but the aspect seems to affect the first damage received by enemies when you're invisible. I had somebody one-shotted with a poison cloud. Would that be a good idea? That might be something to look into. I don't know, though. Kind of hard to say. Because I don't really have too much unlocked right now that gives me like a lot of damage over time. The sword has poison on it, but I should get rid of that soon. Shots leave trail of flames, maybe. That's a pretty big damage increase. What to? I don't know what else is gonna buff this up. I suppose. Killer instinct. Gotta move. With a killer groove. But yeah, I like lore in every game I play. It is it's a pretty consistent part of, yeah, there we go. It's a pretty consistent part of like anything I get into. Even if I'm not a huge fan of the game, I usually try and, at the very least, pay attention to what's happening in the story and the lore and everything. I've definitely been doing that for Final Fantasy 15, even though it's, you know, I gotta say, like, 90% of the game is just watching a bunch of dudes be on vacation. It's like, yes, there are parts where I also commune with gods. Oh my. Woof. Okay, get invisible. Whatever, that works too. I was sort of like waiting for something to teleport up to me, but right, I'm invisible. They don't teleport up to me if I'm invisible. As you do. We officially get past the intro? I suppose so. Now we're just in the free chatting part. I don't know, this one's hard. This isn't a little bit difficult aspect to talk about because it requires some very specific, it requires some very specific, what would you call it? Circumstances. It requires some very specific circumstances to actually work. And that's not... And the other aspects, it's much easier to get working for you. This one is... I guess I would call it like a little bit more gimmicky compared to the other aspects I've been taking a look at. Not the worst thing, but I would say that if you are trying to figure out like what the most overpowered one is, I would go with something like Relentless instead, of course. You know how that is. Yeah, now we just wait for me to die to a curse. So it'll be like another 3-hour episode, and we won't be able to do whatever the second half. I still don't know. Hey, anybody have any opinions on what they want to see for second half of the episode? I guess I haven't really even figured that one out just yet. Ooh, halfway up on Malaise now. Very nice. Because that means I got Oh, yeah, there's the poison working for me. Huh. That means I got the good damage. So it does seem like the best way you want to do this is to, like, lay down as much poison as possible. Maybe I should just grab an alchemic carbine if I can, and then go invisible, and then watch every enemy around you just explode. That's something. Big think. Yeah, like, look at that. Like, okay, so I guess that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go try and find an alchemic carbine, and then I'm going to, like, shoot a bunch of poison around, go invisible, and then everything will die. Sure. Hey, whatever works. Hey, Polanco. How am I doing? Doing pretty good. Just, doing... Yeah, I've been describing it as, like, one of the lesser aspects here, just because it's so hard to get working. But I do think there's some tech that might be here, if I do it right. Okay, so it does have to be, like, the first... I think that the way it works is it's probably, like, the first stack of poison has to be applied to them. Like here, for example. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, whatever the next stack of poison, they have to be continuously getting damage over time to get, like, the instant kill effect to work for them. But that should be good. Why are you a snowman? It's what they introduced this last year, I think, as a costume. One of the sillier ones, to say the least. But hey, it's starting to get, like, nice and cool, nice and chilly out here. I feel like it is a seasonal appropriate type of costume. Okay, no. This is still clearly a best choice. There we are, and there we go. Oh, you want me to do more reviewing of the news, eh? That's not going to happen. Like, once again, we're not doing dumb bits from the start of the stream. I'm telling you that right now. What happens at the start of the stream stays at the start of the stream, you see. There we are. There we go. No, it's just like only getting the 1.5 seconds. That is not a lot. Not a lot at all. So, I don't know. That said, I'm sort of feeling like doing a, we broke about it. We already broke the seal. Yeah, well, what do you want me to do? Go and start, go and find, like, articles online to read right now so that I can keep you up to date on current events while I'm also trying to play the video game as well? We did that once. We did that one time, all the way back in, Risk of Rain 2. And let me tell you, it's just like that. It didn't really work out super well. Tried to read Wikipedia pages, and also the Bible. No. That was no. The Bible reading stream was I can't remember the name of it right now. Into the Breach. I was Into the Breach that I was reading the Bible. For people that are keeping track at home. For those keeping up on all of your Dr. Inferno Firebird lore, I read the Bible, the King James version, I think it was? Of course. During the original Into the Breach streams, not the ones where I eventually beat the game. For whatever that's worth. Oh yeah, actually, speaking of turn-based strategy games, what a smooth... That's not even true. And also, what a smooth... segue there. Still didn't give me enough time to remember the name of the game. We got the sequel to Darkest Dungeon coming out soon. I don't know though. Is that game looking pretty good? Has what people have seen of it been something probably worth playing? Because I don't know. I mean, as always, it's like I did very much enjoy Darkest Dungeon, but that game was, you know, a bit too long for its own good. A little bit very smooth. Thank you. I pride myself on the way I can remember the things I say. But Yeah, the original game, a little bit too long, a little bit too grindy. Fun, certainly. Like the style. Narration, of course, was top-notch. Hey, are they bringing Wayne June back for the sequel, or are they going to do somebody new? Because, you know, it is not, you know, the ancestor anymore, so why would he be there? Okay. More of a short burst thing? I mean, we'll see, I suppose. He's back? Okay. I mean, I don't know. It's like, yes, of course, he was like the most famous part of the original game, but it's also like the ancestor was sort of a thing in the first game. Why would he be in the second game? That sort of thing. People would flip out. I don't know. Hey, if they, I would assume that they would still do the narration thing, but I don't know. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't have to be the same person. Like, I don't know, an ancient scholar from Miskatonic University or something. Or whatever the plot is of the, well, you are a special. Okay, fair enough. True. Fair enough. I guess for me, it's just like, I am somebody that really does, bleed propagation. Now that, I'm actually thinking about this right now as a combination of, this should be a good combo for, I don't think either of these pierce the first target. Biters, sure. This should be a good combo for this whole thing that I'm trying to do here. Just go and get like a lot of bleed, go invisible, and reap rewards. Could be the Prime Minister of Turkey. Wait, was he the Prime Minister? I don't know enough about Turkey. I'm sorry, everybody. I shouldn't have even started it knowing that I would not be able to end it. I see that there, by the way. Yeah, that worked out. Enemies were not close enough. But, yeah. I like innovation on stuff. Maybe a little bit more than other people there. Where it's just like, I want to see something new. You know, give me something I haven't seen before, and I know that it's like, well, not exactly the popular opinion in a lot of ways to be like, I don't care if it's garbage. I don't care if it's like it doesn't. If I don't even like it that much, just if it's new, that's something alone that makes me more interested in it than anything else. Unique experiences. Come on. Think about it like that. That's the sort of thing that ends up with you solving the lament configuration and getting killed by Pinhead, but, you know. Come on. At least it's interesting, right? Those were some extremely popular series of movies, right? Whatever. Anyway. Hey, Halloween! Horror movie references. I'd say it's at least appropriate for the season. Where are you from? Wisconsin. Of course. Why else would I be like this? As you do. President, okay. Well, the gameplay loop certainly isn't like Darkest Dungeon 1. We'll see. I don't know, it's one of those things where it's just like, I haven't really done a whole lot of stuff on the channel that is actually like, you know, trying to like, that is like capturing the zeitgeist, that, you know, things people would actually be interested in, because I have such an allergy to hype. But, like, I don't know. I do like the barrel launcher a lot. Oh, I gotta start sorting out these weapons here. Saw the lament configuration, and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. The t-shirt, unfortunately, does clamp your nipples every single time you wear it. But, I mean, pain is pleasure, and pleasure is pain, man. What are you gonna do? I could have just said spikes. I could have just said that it was a hair shirt or something, but no, I had to go with the nipples. I'm sorry, everybody. That is my fault. When are you running for president? I already ran for president. You might know me as James Madison. Did I do a good job, chat? I want to test your knowledge of American history. There we are. And I said, what the fuck out loud when I heard that? What, the James Madison thing? That's what I assume that you're talking about. Anything else? I mean, I've basically cleared out this area. I suppose if I can get the 20,000... I could probably get another food shop around here. See what else I can probably... What I might be able to do here. Oh, alright, alright. I should just keep going on. Of course, invisibility does not work on bosses. But that also might be one of those things where it does work on bosses, but they tell you it didn't because that was the original plan, but they didn't really take that out of the game. Wouldn't be the first time that something like that has happened. Just like, oh, whoops, we didn't actually put in the code to make it not work on bosses. Well, a man can dream. Now then. What else was I doing here? Oh yeah, I guess I'm using a decent amount of legendary items. I should just be kind of stacking it all in a single group of stats right now. Well, two groups of stats so that I get the most out of legendary items. No? No for what? I'm so close to 60. Let's just do it. I can't imagine that it's going to be super difficult to try and get this working. Assassin is one of those things that might be a little bit better if I instead was like going slower. Like if I really tried to, you know, poison enemies, bleed enemies, whatever, and then like get all of my ducks in a row and whatnot to really make the there we are. To really make the most out of every time that I go invisible. But of course, there's pretty hefty cooldowns on this stuff, and that means that there will be a lot of waiting around. Which, of course, much like hype, I am also allergic to that. But, yeah, let's leave it like this. I could probably also go for the 20k, but there will be more opportunities to get potion charges in the future. I hope. Maybe. We'll see. Well. Snake fangs. Talking about a little bit of poison there, and also a lot more damage. I mean, look, Frantic Sword is a very good item. Like, an extremely good item. However, it does sort of pale in comparison to all the items that I'm going to be getting at this point in the game. It's much more... It is something where you wanna switch up items as you're going through it, because otherwise you're just gonna be using the same thing the entire time, and that will be bad once you get to the final area and you still have a level 4 of something. All right. No, it did not instantly execute him. I mean, I knew that it wouldn't, but I don't know. I was hoping anyway. No legendary items, but like I need any more of those. Should be pretty alright. Get every single one of the damage over time going on here. Being forced to eat black licorice cough drops? I mean, is it supposed to be like black licorice? And also, why? I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of black licorice. Why would you even have those is the real question here. I don't think many people are a big fan of black licorice. So it's like, but if you own those in the first place, they're the only ones in my house. Why are the only ones in the house though? I feel like you could have just, I don't know. It's still early in the day. Certainly you can go out and get something a little bit better. Licorice is disgusting to me. Yeah. I'm not... Of course, I am always somebody who, candy-wise, prefers the chocolates. You know, the chocolate universe to pretty much anything else. So, for the most part, fruit-flavored things, we're even talking like red licorice, I am not nearly as much into. I love black licorice. Why exactly? It is a very, like, bitter flavor to it, right? That's always how I sort of felt about it. Like, it's like a very, like, almost bitter flavor. Licorice, anise, tarragon, all that sort of stuff in that way. Well, there is a food shop up here. Let's go. Anise being licorice, is it? I always thought that was different than, like, a licorice plant. It's just all those have, like, a very similar flavor. Tarragon, I know, can be... I mean, it can be good. It can be pretty all right. But usually you make it with more savory foods, right? Like, that's an important part of... Oh, what is that one steak sauce? Béarnaise sauce. That you always want to grab that for. Anise is completely different. Different plant, same flavor. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just like a common thing. I don't know if it is convergent evolution that makes it so that for whatever reason these plants taste very similar, or it's just like they're of the same family or something. What's the other one? I know, very famous type of alcohol that tastes like that. Jägermeister, but the one with wormwood in it. Is that same sort of flavor? Fennel? Does fennel taste the same? I thought of fennel as being more... Well, not quite the same flavor. Oh, do I even want to take it, though? Absinthe, yes. All that very licorice flavor to it. These are all things that I'm not a huge fan of. Of course, we all remember famously when I was originally playing Enter the Gungeon with the Jaeger-Dew saga. Good stuff. Licorice and anise? Licorice and anise definitely taste very similar. They definitely have a very licoricey flavor to them. Maybe my palate isn't refined enough, but that's how I always felt about it. Gonna be a VIP. Sorry, I skipped the Minecraft stream. No! Why weren't you there for the Minecraft stream? I do eat the candy-coated fennel that they give you at restaurants. Yeah, that's a... Oh, what is that? That's a specific type of candy. Comfit? Comfit, is that what it's called? Yeah, this should be an easy kill. It should be an easy kill, but it wasn't. Yeah. Anise tastes like licorice to me. Yeah. Is this like... I don't know. Is this like one of those things where I have like the weird genetic thing that like, you know, the 25% of people have that makes these things taste similar? Because it definitely tastes like licorice to me as well. Anyway, once again, same thing. Using the legendary items, might as well stack everything up in the same. There. Not quite the smoothest execution, but like, I don't know. What do I want? Yeah? Yeah, I'm sort of feeling it. Well, I do also have like Knife Dance here too. Which should be an up. Oh, both these things are good. But I think I'll take the Knife Dance. Gonna be a little bit more consistent in terms of your genetic freak. Oh no! I'm like that one wrestler. What? I can't remember his name. This is just the me not remembering. This is apparently the Dr. Inferno Firebird is losing his goddamn mind episode, so I hope you all are having a good time as I apparently start saying things that don't make any sense, but have conviction that I shouldn't about it. Anyway. Yo, somebody like look this up online. I want to know now. I want to know if this is like a thing that I am imagining. Or what's the aspect today? It's assassin. First hit on enemies while invisible is an instant kill. It basically works by the executed rules as far as the actual gameplay wise goes. So basically, as long as I like do this, for example, instant execution. And that will also count if enemies are bleeding or if they get hit in like pretty much any way, as far as I can tell. Doesn't work on bosses though, which is the thing that really makes it a little bit frustrating to really get working for you. I don't know. I would recommend other aspects before I would say this one, for example. A little bit too, yeah, I was saying earlier, the circumstances to actually make it work are a little bit too specific to, a little bit too specific in how they need to function to be truly useful. There we are. Andre the Giant? No, it wasn't Andre the Giant. It was like, it was Mankind, right? Can't remember his actual name. Why? Ah, whatever. He's a genetic freak. What is... I can't... Like, that's bothering me now. Oh, well. Mick Foley? Was it? Was it Mick Foley? I gotta be honest. I am not a huge wrestling fan, so I am not as much of a wouldn't be as knowledgeable as most people. But of course, like I said, this is a very strange episode happening right now, so I guess it just fits in it, right? Get wrecked. Okay. No, get down. Ah. God, I'm trying so hard not to die here, but it is not looking great, I'll be honest. Well, maybe it'll work out okay. I'm not going to continue with a series of Undermine. Hey, we'll do Undermine right after this. I was just talking about how I was talking about like a half hour ago how I didn't really have too much of a plan for the second half of this stream. I still want to do that. I still want to do like the whole like two halves of the stream thing. Anatole is the compound in anise, licorice, fennel that give them that flavor. Psh, get wrecked, everybody. Oh, man. Oh, it was Scott Steiner. Okay, fine. Oh, I am so glad that it's just like I was not totally imagining this. Thank you, Benny Cunningham. You get VIP. Wait, no, you already have VIP. I should gift you a sub, but I'm also unemployed. Oh, no! Like, you guys, I just want to, like, call it for this episode because it's just like, Pepe laugh, yeah, I know. Look, this one, I don't know. I feel like Assassin is just, it's a little bit uninteresting. It's said that that's what gives them that flavor. It is specifically the thing that gives them that flavor. Come on. Well, like, you know, I think we'll call it for this episode because, to be honest, there's not really like Assassin is a little bit uninteresting compared to the other ones, and I think we got to see like the basic. I think you're thinking of the genetic anomaly that makes people hate cilantro. Yeah, that was sort of what I was thinking of, but I don't know what else that also applies to. Did I mess up? Yes. Curses. Don't take the curses in the sanctuary. Just like I'm just gonna like put a blanket statement out there that it's like, don't take the curses in the slumbering not the sanctuary, the fractured shrines. Ugh, man. Look, I got like my opinions confirmed on licorice and licorice-like flavors, so I consider that a win. I consider that a win for me.